Hello friends, today we are going to study the third chapter of geography, drainage part 2. But before this part, go through the first part also. As we have seen in first part about Himalayan rivers and peninsular rivers. Now in the northern part of India you will find especially the Himalayan rivers, and besides the Tropic of Cancer you will find the peninsular rivers. Now Himalayan rivers are also known as perennial rivers. So we had gone through three different rivers, that is Indus. So Indus starts from here and it moves like that and then drain into Arabian Sea. Then we also had a talk about Ganga. So Ganga moves like that and drain into Bay of Bengal. We talked about Brahmaputra river also. It comes in this way and then drain in Bay of Bengal. So this was about the Himalayan rivers. Today we are going to talk about the peninsular rivers. So in peninsular rivers you will find Narmada. So Narmada is in this way. We study in detail also. It moves in Arabian Sea. Then Tapi river, this also moves towards Arabian Sea. These are the only two prominent rivers which move from east to west, and mainly all the rivers move from west to east. So in that we'll study about Godavari. This you can see, this moves towards Bay of Bengal. Then Mahanadi, it comes like that. This also drains in Bay of Bengal. Then Krishna you can see from here. This also drains towards Bay of Bengal. Kaveri also. Kaveri comes in this way. It drains in Bay of Bengal. So we are going to talk about all these peninsular rivers. So let's start. The first peninsular rivers, most of the major rivers of peninsula such as Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri flows eastward and drain into Bay of Bengal. These rivers make deltas at the mouth, and Narmada and Tapi are the only long rivers which flow west and make estuaries. In the last previous video I explained about estuaries and deltas. So the first we'll talk about Narmada basin. The Narmada rises in the Amarkantak hills in Madhya Pradesh and it flows the west in a rift valley. Rift valley means the valley linear shaped, low down between several highlands or mountain ranges, formed due to faulting. The marble rocks near Jabalpur, where the Narmada flows through a deep gorge. Gorge means a narrow valley with steep sides and a river running through it. And the Dhuradhar fall, where the river plunges over steep rocks, and some of the notable ones. All tributaries of Narmada are very short, and most of these join the main stream at right angle. Now what is tributary? Tributary means a small river that flows into a large river. Now you must be knowing one is tributary and one is distributaries. Distributary means the branches of rivers that does not return to the main stream after leaving it. Okay. Then comes the second river, that is the Tapi. The Tapi rises in the Satpura ranges in the Betul district of Madhya Pradesh. It also flows in the Rift Valley parallel to the Narmada, but it is much shorter in length. Its basin covers part of Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat and Maharashtra. The coastal part between Western Ghat and the Arabian Sea are very narrow. Hence, the coastal rivers are short. The main west flowing rivers are Sabarmati, Mahi, Bharatpuzha and Periyar. Godavari Basin. Now, Godavari, you must be knowing that Godavari is also known as Dakshin Ganga because it is the largest river found in peninsular region. The Godavari is the largest peninsular river. It rises from the slope of Western Ghat in the Nasik district of Maharashtra. Its length is about 1500 km and it drains into Bay of Bengal. Its drainage basin is also the largest among the peninsular rivers. The basin covers parts of Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Orissa and Andhra Pradesh. The Godavari is joined by some tributaries also like Purna, Vardha, Pranahita, Manjra, Vainganga and Penganga. Now these three, mainly Manjra, Vainganga and Penganga, these are very large tributaries, and because of its length and its area which it covers, it is also known as Dakshin Ganga. Many times in 1 mark also this question comes, which river is known as Dakshin Ganga. Now about Mahanadi. The Mahanadi rises in the highlands of the Chhattisgarh. It flows through Orissa to reach the Bay of Bengal. The length of the river is about 860 km. Its drainage basin is shared by Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand and Orissa. Krishna Basin, rising from the springs near Mahabaleshwar. The Krishna flows for about 1400 km and then it reaches to Bay of Bengal. The Tungabhadra, the Koyna, the Ghat Prabha, the Musi and the Bhima, these are some of the tributaries. Its drainage basin is shared by Maharashtra, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. The Kaveri Basin. The Kaveri rises in the Brahmagiri range of the Western Ghat and it reaches the Bay of Bengal in south of Kudulur in Tamil Nadu. Its length is about 760 km. Tributaries are Amravati, Bhavani, Hemavati, Kambini. Its basin drains part of Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. So these were some of the peninsular rivers. Beside these major rivers, there are some smaller rivers flowing towards east. The Damodar, the Brahmani, the Baitarani and the Suvarnarekha are some notable examples. Now you must also be knowing that 71% of the world's surface is covered with water. Of that, about 97% of that is salt water. The left 3% is fresh water, and out of that also third quarter of it traps as a ice. Now some importance about the lakes. The Valley of Kashmir and the famous Dal Lake, the houseboat and shikaras, which attract thousands of tourists every year in our country. So now the question comes, why are these lakes so important? So people enjoy, they visit, boating they do, swimming and other water games also are being played over here. Few of the lakes we'll talk in the coastal areas: Chilka Lake, Pulicat Lake, Koleru Lake, lakes in the regions of islands. Inland drainage are sometimes seasonal. For example, the Sambar Lake in Rajasthan, which is a salt lake. Its water is used for producing salt. Freshwater lakes are in the Himalayan regions. The Wular Lake in Jammu and Kashmir is also as a result of tectonic activities. You must have heard about Dal Lake, Bhimtal, Nainital, Loktal, Barapani. These are some of the important fresh lakes. Apart from natural lakes, the damming of the rivers for the generation of hydel power has also been led to the formation of lakes. Like Guru Gobind Sagar, Bhakarnagal project, Bhakarnagal Dam you must have heard. Here you can see Wular Lake. Your Wular Lake is there. Then Govind, Balprat Paint Sagar, Sambar Salt Lake, then Chilika Lake, Pulicat Lake, as you saw just now. So these are some of the lakes you can find. Now, what are the importance of the lakes? This question comes of 5 marks in the exam. Lakes are of great value to human beings. A lake helps to regulate the flow of a river. During heavy rains, it prevents flooding, and during the dry season, it helps to maintain an even flow of water. Lakes can also be used for developing hydropower. They moderate the climate of the surrounding. It maintains the aquatic ecosystem. It enhances the natural beauty, helps in developing tourism and provide recreation. So these were few things related to lakes. Hope you all must have understood. Thank you.